power of gratitude, the power of faith, the power of mind. We're going to talk about it, how it works. How do you get that? The Victoria Arlen story, phenomenal story about a young lady trapped in her own body, how she had to face it, how she had to conquer it, how she defied it, how she embraced it. We're going to talk about that as well. We're going to talk about world maze versus the global matrix that you're in right now. How do you navigate? Where do you stand? What's your position? How do you stand out? How do you get around in that world maze? And how do you get around in that global matrix? Hang around. We're going to talk about it. This is Jude Life. See you on the other side. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Jude. Hey, what's going on? Nice to see you. Jude Life. We're back here again. And today we're going to have a great conversation. It's just basic conversation about the power of the mind. We're going to talk about the power of the mind. We're going to talk about, let's start off first with, we're talking about the world we're living in right now. This global matrix. It's global. It's affecting everybody. We're all in it. We're all part of it. We're all part of that system that is, quote unquote, able to direct, so to speak, able to steer you, so to speak. Correct? I mean, am I wrong? There's certain things that we must do within this global matrix. It's a global thing. It's being controlled. It's universal, so to speak. Now, you may believe it and you may not. You may say to yourself, no, but I can guarantee you there are certain things that are put in place within this matrix, global matrix, that's conducting like an orchestra, is directing, and it shifts every so often. And we must shift with it. As the matrix shifts, we must shift with it. Now, you don't know you're living in the matrix. You don't know it. You don't realize it because it happens unconsciously. And we're just moving along with the matrix. We're bending with it. We're folding with it. We're flipping with it. And if you don't know how to position yourself properly within this matrix, it can and it will take a toll on you. This is where power of mind comes in. This is where power of the faith comes in. See what I'm saying? This is where power of gratitude is there. Be thankful. That also comes into play as well. Because I'm saying this to you because as we're all living in this, what you call a global matrix, which is what it is, okay, you also have a maze that's here, that's with you. You are directing yourself through a maze. And the purpose of that maze is for you to get to the center, for you to get to your goal. It's turns, circular. You got to get there. You got to navigate yourself through that maze. So the maze is basically yours. The matrix is global. I'm giving you the answers right there. How you stand out, how you position yourself. You're in a maze. You got to walk through it. Correct? And it's not the goal that's the most important part of it, although it has some importance to it. What's more important, really, truly, is the people you meet, the experience walking through that maze. Is the people you come across walking through that maze. Is the people that you have to leave behind. Pay them no mind. Those are the type of things that makes you reach your goal, get to the center of the maze, where the heaven on earth is, where the cloud nine is, where the worry free is, where the glorious part is, where the accomplishment is getting to that center of that maze. And then you will create another maze for yourself that you have to, because it has ups and downs. See, the most important part about the maze, again, is the journey. The journey that you create for yourself is the maze. You're going to come across people. Now, you may call them bad people. You may call them demons. You may call them, I tend to call them problematic. They'll always bring a problem to confront you. Those people take your energy from you. And you're going to come across those type of people within the maze. And you're going to come across good people within that maze. You're going to come across people that will walk with you for a while within that maze. The whole importance of this whole maze situation that you've created for yourself is a structure that's going to allow you to develop happiness, gratitude, power of mind, and faith in yourself. Faith in the person that's traveling that maze. So let's not worry about that global matrix because we have no control over that. Do you understand what I'm talking about? That global matrix, everyone's involved in it. It's being conducted. You see what I'm saying? Are you following me with this? Because, again, let's go back to the maze. You give thanks for the people that you meet as you're traveling. That's very important. And the reason why it's important, because your maze can be easily configured and figured out, or your maze can be difficult. And it's all up to you, the travels. It's all how you embrace it. It's all how you face it. It's the way you conquer it, and it's the way you defy it. With that being said, I want to bring up a story. And this story really, I mean, you guys, it's giving me chills right now, and my eyes may get watery throughout this video that we're talking about here. It's Victoria Allen story. And it's a great story. You can Google it. You can look it up if you haven't heard about it before. Phenomenal young lady, man. Phenomenal young lady. This lady was athletic. Young girl was athletic. First of all, let me just say, she was a triplet. The oldest of three. Long story short. Oldest of three. She was a young lady. She had two younger brothers. Did whatever her brothers could do. She danced, she sang, she ran, she swam. She was a very athletic young lady. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom, just like that, she begins to lose her nervous system, starts to go. She comes with two types of different nervous conditions. So she has two autoimmune deficiencies that comes upon her: transverse myelitis and acute disseminated encephalomyelitis. These things attack her nervous systems one by one. First, she loses her mobility. Then she loses her speech. She loses her muscles. Then she loses her hearing. Gone to doctors, couldn't explain it, didn't know what was happening, didn't see her living. All this while she could see. She can breathe. She can think. She's trapped inside her own body. While still living in the global matrix, this is her maze. She's traveling through her maze, trapped inside her own body. Parents didn't know what was going on, man. They're moving her around, bringing her to different hospitals and so on and so forth. And here it is, this young lady who used to do all these things can no longer walk, can no longer eat, can no longer hear, see, or talk. Her eyes cannot close. Her eyes stay open. All that goes away. In her story, she indicates that it was her faith. Check this out. It was her faith and her gratitude that pulled her through. In her mind, she thought, well, at least I'm not dead. You see what I mean? Power of the mind, faith, and gratitude. But it doesn't stop there. Let me continue on with the story. It's a phenomenal story, man. It's okay. So now she goes on. Can you imagine that this situation goes on for 4 years? Okay. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, she's able to hear. Wow. Her mind still can't see, still can't move her muscles, still can't talk, still can't indicate to anyone, hey, I can hear now. But the things that she's hearing right now are the doctors telling her parents, hey, put this young lady in a home because she's not going to do well. You are not going to be able to take care of her, and things are just going to get worse. You'll be doing yourself in service. Put her in a home, get her away. But the people around her, her mother, her father, her brothers, everyone around her, okay, gave her that energy and the strength, along with the power of her gratitude and the faith in herself. She was in her maze, traveling her maze, blinded, crippled, unable to walk, unable to talk, unable to do nothing. She just got a hearing back. Okay? But in her thoughts, she said, I can't wait till I get better so I can go swimming. I can go dancing with the stars. I can go and do the things that I've always wanted to do. She's in her maze, in the matrix, lost sense of time, lost sense of hour, lost sense of age, lost sense of every single thing. Okay? The story doesn't end right there. I'm just setting you up. It's not gonna be long. Because once you're done with this video here, Victoria Arlen story, I want you guys to go and take a look at it for yourself. It's phenomenal. But I just had to introduce you to it. Now it goes on. First time in 4 years, she blinks. No one sees her blink. She still can't talk. She blinks. Her mom, she can't tell her mom anything. Her mom turns around and sees that she's beginning to look different. Just her expression. She's beginning to look different. And she's beginning to see that her daughter is not the same as she was 2 months ago, 3 months ago. So the mother looks at her closely, eye to eye, like this, and says, Victoria, if you can hear me, blink. The young lady blinks like nuts. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Amazing. It's a miracle. It's divine intervention. Something happened. That young goddess, that young child of God, had that godly God spirit in her, along with the faith, along with her gratitude, and along with her mindset, it wasn't dead. She came out of that. Long story short, through physical therapy, through speech therapy, things started to come back. She began to talk. She began to get feeling back, get senses back. She won gold medals. She won silver medals. She became the youngest person to be on ESPN as a sports reporter. She's gone on to do, she's Dancing with the Stars. And I'm sharing that with you because it goes along with the powers that I'm talking about right now. It goes along with the maze that we are all in right now. And it also goes along with that global matrix. No one knew this was going to happen to Victoria. No one knew what happened. She was living a normal life at the age of 11 years old. So for 4 years, she was 15 years old. Ended up and still graduated high school, went to college. But her world maze said this is going to be a different thing. The maze that she created for herself, okay, said it was going to be something different. The faith that she had said it was going to be something different. And this is what I'm talking about that is very important for each and every individual to have. Is that type of a faith, that type of mindset, and that type of gratitude. See, just imagine being caught in your own body and not being able to signal to anyone that you can hear, or you're starting to get movement back. Just imagine what your mind is going through. You see, with this old story, and what I want to tell you guys is that the real suffering doesn't really come with the obstacles that are put in our path as we're coming along. That the obstacles that are put in our maze as we walk through our maze and trying to reach our goal. That's not the real suffering. The real suffering, I believe, comes with what we tell ourselves about what's going to happen or about what happened in the past. So we're all looking for that blink moment. That moment where we blink and we see, when are you going to get your blink moment? We need to get that blink moment very soon. Hey, listen, I appreciate you guys tuning into the channel. Like I said, if there's anything that I can say or do that's going to spark that blink moment for you, that's what I'm here to do. Jude Life, I'll talk to you guys soon.